Hi, how you guys doing? I'm Kateria. Thank you for joining. This is the Power of God Ministries, JC. Subscribe, share the video, like it, and everything like that. But also, if you want to get saved or rededicate your life back to God, check out the salvation clip, and I'm going to walk you through it after I, talk a little bit about some other things. But right here, I want to talk about the wrongful imprisonment and what God is saying about the wrongful imprisonment and the blood that is upon America's hands that is causing judgment. Okay, as likewise with the racism. Okay, so let's get into it. It's not just me, it's many saints, some of my friends, they all seeing, like when they see this wrongful imprisonment and they seen this injustice to usually the black people because of racism and things like that. God is not pleased, even the injustice in other forms or whatever the case may be. But God is not pleased. So right now I'm going to talk about some things that he already mentioned to me. And you must know this because we are encountering judgment upon America. And what I'm about to say is the reason why judgment is upon America. This is the core reason. But the reason why I'm bringing it back up is because we are about to experience it again. Okay, likewise, we are about to experience it again. And as I'm in November 5th on the day of election 2024, that even racism may pop out after this particular thing that's going on. And riots and so on and so forth and civil unrest. Even if it doesn't have anything to do with race, there's a plan for a race attack. So what's going to happen is somehow, some way, right? It's going to be about black people and condemning black people again, right? All right. Okay. What was that? Besides the laws that they have been making for the last 3 years, just about, that's trying to disclude black people anyway. Besides those laws that they've been already trying to do undercover as if God did not see it. So now the storm's coming and banging up the doors of Tallahassee. Yeah. So that part. And then, so now we have it to where I'm in Florida, so So we have it to where God began to tell me yesterday when I was doing these videos and I didn't get a chance to complete them. He began to tell me that the Antichrist is retaliating about what we are about to embark on with the racism towards the black people. Again, the Antichrist is retaliating. So we have to understand that we are, that the Hebrew Israelites, the descendants of the original Hebrew Israelites, we have to understand that they are in America. It's not just across seas and abroad. They made it to America. And we just so happen to be black. Is there any other ethnicity that's the descendant of a Hebrew Israelite that's in America? I believe so, because now we are multicultural. But however, this thing is for the black people. God began to say in the year of 2022 of why he was weakening the borders of the United States of America, why he was causing a breach of security, why he was causing it to go up for sale, why he was causing it to have a takeover, because the last straw happened. And he said because of the innocent killings of the innocent bloodshed of the black killings. All right, because of the killings and the innocent bloodshed of the black people located in Africa, I'm going to weaken the borders of the United States of America. And people not understanding, how can God so value them like that? Like, why would God do all of that? Why would God bring judgment upon America at such a magnitude for some killings and bloodshed of black people in Africa? Well, did you know that these black people were still descendants of the Hebrew Israelites? The reason why God said that the Antichrist is retaliating, because the Antichrist spirit, that's a demonic spirit, it always knows how to find the Hebrew Israelites. And God began to say that he's weakening the borders of the United States of America because of that, because he knew that same spirit was going to meet the black people in America, and we are embarking on it. I'm asking God, because I still don't fully know, right? I'm asking God, is you telling me basically the way I'm going to exit out of America, the paperwork that I'm going to sign, and the request that I'm going to make in whatever country I go to, you telling me that I'm going to be writing down seeking asylum? I'm going to be checking off that box because there's going to be an oppression towards black people, persecution towards black people, or maybe persecution towards Christians as well. But God say black people, but persecution towards black people, right? You telling me that's where I'm going to be leaving? How bad is this going to get? How bad? So I'm saying this because America need to know why they are about to encounter what they encounter. Because you are touching God's chosen and sacred people. You cannot do that without experiencing the wrath of God. That time in Egypt is about to find America. God told me the 10th plague. That time in Egypt is about to find America. God now is going to interrupt this persecution on the blacks. And this is in Isaiah chapter 10, verses 1 through 4. And like the time in Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1 through 4, Assyria was that tool that God used. And now God is using the tool of China and Russia to implement his wrath, to execute the wrath of God. When you get down to Isaiah chapter 10, verses 5, their own, is talking about how God then deals with Russia and China, or in the Bible, it's going to say Assyria. All right, how God then deals with Assyria and the disobedient ones. If you look at it real closely, Isaiah chapter 10 also is going to tell you about how God defends his people, 1 through 4, that's the righteous ones. And then you can say that 1 through 4 verse can go piggyback with Zechariah 9, right? And then the 5 going backwards starts to piggyback with the disobedient ones and how the wrath of God was on the disobedient ones. All right. And that will be Zechariah 11. Check out that other video with the division is coming between the people of God and the world. And so now you see with Isaiah that there's a division as well. 1 through 4, the wrath of God coming upon whomever. But in modern terms today, God is saying the wrath of God coming upon America because of the wrongful imprisonment. I'm rewording what the Bible is talking about. The wrongful imprisonment, the injustice towards the people, the injustice towards the poor, the injustice towards the widowed women, right? And that can be in modern terms, the woman that's single mothers, the injustice to the single women, period. They don't have a man or a protector. Right? The injustice, you put it in your laws. You put your injustice in your laws and you call yourself justifiable. Let's keep going to the next one. The injustice, for the fatherless. Creating fatherless children by your acts of criminal behavior and the police force killing black people intentionally because you know that a KKK application is roaming in your precinct. Via court on broad daylight, court on the news in Miami. So we had the KKK application sitting on the passenger seat of the police cruiser in the police car. Right? Right around the time when the black boy had his hands held up and sitting on the ground, he was kind of heavy set with the white kid. Both of them had their hands held up, sitting on the floor, and they just on national television. And the man was up there, it seemed for hours. And they still shot him. Nobody approached, they just shot him. You think that we stupid? Or you think God's stupid? Which one? All right, bet. Tsunami, hello. Earthquake, hello. Madrid, hello. San Andreas, hello. So this is Judgment, all right? Excuse the animations, kind of animated in real life. So basically, this is the judgment. You think you're getting away. It's in Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1 through 4. I'm not going to open a verse in the scriptures, but I did write down some of the things that I wanted to be translated that's in there from a different version because I was doing a New King James version or whatever or whatnot. All right. So I want to go back up to that because now you have your, you writing these laws, Florida, all y'all, you writing these laws that goes against black people and you think God don't see it. God is furious. He's infuriated about it. Exoneration Gate up there in New York. They had it in Times Square or City Central Park or whatever. Exoneration gate. They created a gate just to celebrate the moment that people or adhere and liberate the people who was wrongfully imprisoned. It was a big deal. You can't do that. That's blood. That's blood on your hand. That's blood on the stripes on your flag. That's blood on the stars, on the spangle. That's blood. You can't do it. Y'all been getting away with it for so long, and it's just something happened, and God said, your time is up. So did my pastor say, their time is up. You wondering judgment finna fall? Oh, it's here. Isaiah 10, he said, I am using China and Russia to do what to do my judgment. I have to say that because you're going to see America go through some things. As new believers and everything like that, you might not understand. You might not understand what you're seeing. Understanding the high magnitude of the devastation. All right? Likewise, when that devastation hit Egypt, it was a phenomenon. Okay? It was something that was never seen in history before. All right? Well, maybe with Sodom and Gomorrah. So don't let me quote that. Don't quote me on that. But it was a phenomenon. It was so epic that it was something that proved God's existence today. That it was something that could not be debated because they left the evidence. And forever, whoever remembered and looked up those things, archaeologists and whomever and scholars, they could not deny God. They could not deny him. In that particular time and era, we are getting to a point where every knee is going to bow, every tongue may not confess, but you won't be able to deny. But the Bible says every tongue shall confess. Right? People are going to start wondering about God, but for the stubborn and stiff-necked ones who may not confess, we're going to see you again later. But this is what God is showing. And wanting the people to realize what we're embarking and what we're encountering and why this is happening as they changing these laws and doing what God is frowning upon in Isaiah, but it's still oppression, it's still linked to racism stuff. As they just killed a man in Columbia, South Carolina. They just killed a man in Columbia, South Carolina with the death penalty of lethal injection. And it was on a Friday. And basically, once you heard his story, it was like, whoa, dude. Yo, that's racism. We know racism. It don't have to be in black and white. God is the final judge, my dear America. God is the final judge. He is the final judge. The convenience store thing, it was self-defense. He went inside the convenience store unarmed. Then the man tried to pull a gun out on him, and you give him the lethal injection. Real talk, Columbia, South Carolina, we see you. God see you. I'm telling you guys, y'all know what God is doing. Because when that time comes, run. Because this right here is not for the people of God. And that's what God told me when he was telling me about the Egypt thing. He said, I need my people to put the blood of the lamb, the blood of Jesus over the doorposts. Because I'm coming. America did some things, and now I got to come through the land. All right? He said, it's not for my people. Tell them to put it over them. Not saying that, and that's because if they was to pass on in this lifetime, they would ascend back to him. He said, they with me, they don't die. But that's what the Lord is saying. And the wrath of God is upon them. But that's also because that Antichrist spirit is retaliating and he's moving at rapid speed. I did not read what the word of God said, even though I mentioned it. So I'm going to hurry up and read it. All right. So Isaiah chapter 10. These are translation versions that I had got. And it's just kind of like between Isaiah 10, 1 through 4, whichever verse it is that I'm reading, because I'm reading translations or interpreting the thing. It says, who uses the law to take advantage of the poor. Basically, my judgment is upon you. With the, preying on the widows and the fatherless and things like that. And so now for his judgment, hear the judgment part. Okay, so I think this is verse 4, and then I'm going to be interpreting verse 4 with other with other with other versions of the Bible. Okay, so you will stumble along as, okay, without me, that's what the Bible says, without me, you will stumble along as prisoners or lie among the dead. All right, that means that in order to inflict judgment, great judgment upon America and whomever, all God needs to do is to withdraw his protection to bring you down. That's what God is getting ready to do. Withdraw his protection. And it seems like the last provoking straw for America is coming against his black people. It's as if the people who created this war knew that it will expedite some things if he come against God's black people. All right? I'm saying black people because that's what God said, black people. All right? Not saying that different races aren't descendants of the Hebrew Israelites, because it is. Okay? But that's what God was saying in the scriptures, okay? And then keep going, translations. But even the Lord's anger will not be satisfied. After he releases protection and judgment fall, and judgment took place, it says, but even the Lord's anger will not be satisfied. He still won't be satisfied. And then the CSB version, I think that was the NLT version. So the CSB version, and all this, his anger has not turned away. After everything is done, his anger still haven't turned away completely. And his hand is still raised to strike. Do you hear that? It's saying that his anger has not turned away completely, and his hand is still raised to strike. So it's as if he's still mad, but the wrath went dim. It went down some. But he's still mad, and he still got his hand stretched out, and he's ready to strike. Look at this. Vengeance is the Lord's. But why? Vengeance is the Lord. Just sit back. Go vacation with education. That's the term. That's that motto. Vacation with some education. Fast and pray. But God is not playing. God is not playing. I know some people see the rapture. The rapture is definitely there. But before the rapture, I see the blessing. Okay? I see the new government coming out of America being established. All right, y'all. This is it. Showtime is about to go down. And God began to say on other occasions, he said, a showdown. I'm finna have the showdown. I was like, oh, sucky now. You could tell I'm a 1980s baby. But yeah, a auntie. Because they're calling me auntie now. All right, remember, check out another video I'm about to make about the Christian nationalists. I'm not going to make this any longer. You guys be blessed and have a great day. Check out the salvation clip if you want to get saved or rededicate your life back to God. Be blessed.